can change, but my level. I been fucking up the game on the regular. She ain't fucking with you lames, cause you regular. Ain't nothing gonna change but my level. Ooh, ain't nothing changed but my level. I been fucking up the game on the regular. She ain't fucking with you lames, cause you regular. I been fucking up the game on the regular.
Ooh, yeah, I've been posted on the counter, from Philly to New York to California.
He always wants that whole song to come on. He loves it. We're gonna play it during the show. What's up, y'all? We back. It's 2 Cent Tuesday. I'm Janny Schmanny.
You're a bro man.
He a bro man.
Fred going legit. It's about to be Fred legit because I'm not going. I am. So Fred legit. I am who I am. Thanks, Mom. Hence, bless the name by this Greek one.
Well, it only means that you have went
Coin.
legit. It
Yes.
means you have went legit.
Yes.
That's what it
I love it.
That's what it means.
She gave me identity. I appreciate that.
I was called an influencer earlier, so that's what we do here on the Comfort Level Podcast. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to our Instagram viewers, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and everywhere you get your podcasts. And don't forget our website at thecomfortlevel.com. Make sure you subscribe to anywhere you see us, anywhere you view us. That's right. Also on Fred Going Legit on Facebook. Yes. And
Getting
also on
platforms,
Reality Music CO on Facebook. Reality Music CO on YouTube. But we're back. So, and how was everybody's Mother's Day?
Yes. How was everybody's Mother's Day? Did y'all get some food?
Yeah, we have food. Make sure you drop that in the comments.
Y'all make sure Mom Duke's getting a meal.
However your Mother's Day was, make sure you drop that in the comments. We did something new. We got a new call line. We got that last week. Make sure you guys check us out. You can call in. The number is 609-315-4442. Yeah, we got to go.
Classic Jersey number.
4442. Yeah, make sure you call in there. Speaking of, real and not. Me and Fred got to put a 2 cents in on this. 11 days ago was posted 8 people who faked or may have faked their own deaths. And faking your own death is not in of itself illegal. Did you know that? If you wanted to walk away from your life and start anew, there are no federal laws or statutes to prevent you from doing it. But it's rare that, that's going to be the solution to your problems, faking your death. We already know people have, fake being kidnapped and abused and stuff like that. Mentally, what's done in the dark comes to the light. So it's like the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest. You trying to evade capture for a crime. It's still the same thing, And people do it for financial reasons and stuff like that, insurance schemes and stuff like that. So some of these stories of these staged deaths are more complex from, the man who fakes his death to get popular. And, shit like that. So this case right here, her name was, I don't even know if this is a man or, let me see, Jack Quote De La Haye, circa 1656. So, according to the legend, Jacquot de la Haye's mother died in childbirth, so it's a woman, and her father was murdered during her youth. So she turned to piracy to provide for herself and her younger, mentally disabled brother. And at one point during her reign as a pirate queen, she was captured and forced to fake her death to escape. She lived hiding as a man. She did that for a number of years, and then she returned with her crew, and then she returned to her piracy. She and her crew even went to claim a whole Caribbean island as their own. Damn. Not only was De La Haye a successful pirate, she had one of the best seafaring monikers around, thanks to her stage death and her auburn hair. Back from the dead red. That was her shit. Wow. What do you think about that, Fred?
Goodness gracious. I'm all over the place.
So
I want to say this.
To survive.
Hold on. I want to say this. If you're in fucking prison, you gotta fake your death to get out. Somebody else had to die. So swift move, smart moves. You gotta leave it there. Who the fuck did you pick to die that they can't find in that motherfucking prison? That's what. Anyway, she made it out, right? Faking death. Really interesting topic.
Well,
All
there's
right,
a lot of fakes out here. I'm trying to expose some of them.
So
I think it's interesting.
So it's 2023. Everybody knows you can live forever. If you have the cash, you can get a new body and a new brain. Download all the memories and thoughts into the new. Okay. Number one. Number two. I've heard guys have insurance policies, and they got connections, and they can get a whole new identity. Why the fuck not? My buddy's a plastic surgeon. He can make my lips bigger, make my nose broader. Nobody ever recognized me.
Yeah.
So why the fuck not? Let me get this $7 million fucking payout plus my death benefit and fucking roll. Why the fuck not? As a matter of fact, if that's a thing, that's a well-known practice in high society, from what I understand. Then there's an awful lot of fucking rich guys that's walking around as somebody else because life got crazy and they had to do what the fuck they had to do. So I mean, I don't know. If I was there and I had that access, I would definitely do that. So that's all.
Well, we got another one. We got another one for you, and this ranges out back to the 1800s.
Ooh, Timothy Dexter.
Yes, Timothy Dexter.
That's funny. His name is
Tell
Dexter.
us about it.
So Dexter is regarded as one of America's first famous eccentrics, with good reason. A poor leather craftsman who dropped out of school at the age of 8. Damn. Dexter happened into his fortune when he made some lucky financial decisions regarding speculation on the continental dollar, and instantly became one of the richest men in Boston. Unfortunately, high society folk never took to Dexter, regarding him as an uneducated man who married into his money. His wife, Elizabeth Frothingham, was independently wealthy. She was independently wealthy and did not care for the lavish stables and gaudy stables and that littered their property, including a statue of Dexter himself. Wow. Dexter went so far as to bestow upon himself the title of Lord, demanding his servants address him as such. When that disapproval of his countrymen proved too much, Dexter decided to fake his own death so he could ascertain how the public really felt about him, and he entrusted a few men to organize a grand funeral and let his family in on the ruse. While his children put on an appropriate display of grief, Dexter, who watched from a lavish tomb built in the basement of his home, determined his wife was smiling too much and not properly crying rather. crying, and Karen, because if you care, you're gonna cry. He quickly marched into the kitchen and berated her candor, and then walked amongst the mourners as if nothing were happening. Unfortunately, for Dexter, he never really received his respect, and he felt he deserved. And when he died, for real this time, 6 years later,
It was a trip.
yeah,
Nobody came to
Yeah,
his goddamn funeral
he
because
was
he
gonna die
already
anyway.
had the shit. Came to it and everything. Watching to see if people were saying his wife, you know what I mean? She wasn't as sad as he wanted her to be. Oh my
he
God.
should have been genuine. He should have been more
No,
genuine.
he was a prick.
Yeah, he was a
She didn't
dick.
like, she had money, you know what I mean? And they was living a good life, but he wanted to master up on everybody
No.
and have servants and shit like that. She said
He
didn't like
was such a dick. He had a statue of himself in front of the property.
it gets deeper.
But what the fuck do you do? How do you have a statue?
Because
of yourself
he
and you
wanted
ain't
to
do
be-
shit.
Yeah, but he wanted to be worshipped. She wasn't trying to have it. She didn't want it like
Michael
that. She
Jordan.
came from money.
Michael Jordan doesn't even have a fucking statue of himself in the front of his fucking house. You fucking dick.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
The 1800s was, really, really hard living. You think you got it now. 1825, Alexander First of Russia. The death of Tsar Alexander First, Alexander I, I guess,
yeah.
who was raised by his grandmother, Catherine the Great, and succeeded the throne just a few years after her death, has long been contested and recently underwent a new round of questioning. Svetlana Semyonova, the president of Russia Graphological Society, conducted a handwriting analysis in 2015 that strongly suggests similarities between Alexander's penmanship and that of a monk known as Fyodor Kuzmich or Fyodor Tomsky. Even before Semyonova's latest examination, the rumor mill had long been claiming that Alexander's staged his 1825 death from typhus.
Yeah, and he wasn't smart enough to change his fucking handwriting.
They tried to change her thing so we overturned the throne. So 11 years later, Kuzmich first appeared in the Russia city of Krasnoyarsk.
Oh, Kuzmich.
Krasnoyarsk, like it says.
Oh, Krasnoyarsk.
Yeah, where he was arrested. He was sent to the Siberian city of Tomsk. One proponent of the theory is that Tsar Alexander and Kuzmich were one and the same. Damn. Were one and the same was Leo Tolstoy, somebody else who noted that both commoners and members of the elite spoke about the astounding similarities between the two men. Damn. Including their identical height, weight, age, and particularly round shoulders. The monk was also known to speak multiple languages and carry himself with an air of nobility, even though he claimed he was homeless and he did not remember his family. Dang. The Tomsk branch of the Orthodox Church does not oppose the idea of testing Kuzmich's DNA. So perhaps one day we'll know once and for all whether the Tsar and the monk were the same man. Interestingly enough, Alexander's wife, who died the year after he allegedly did, is also rumored to have faked her death. God dang. Similarities between her handwriting and that of a nun support the theory that she too took on a holy order and became a nun known as Silent Vera.
Yeah, so this is like traditional for high society. It's just like this is just amongst high society. It's something they must call social reset.
Chime in, guys. This is the phone number.
Hey, just fucking start over.
Post a comment.
Hey, listen, just start over, Alexander. Just start over. You got a fortune. Turn your fortune over. Be a new guy.
I can't do it.
You know, why not? Me,
yeah, but
I'm gonna want a new fucking body. I'm not gonna be the same 5'10" and some motherfucking inches, motherfucker. I'm gonna need to be a new man.
It was all in the 1800s.
A whole new fucking guy.
It was all in the 1800s. Yeah. I guess it was common thing to do, to kill yourself or pretend that you're dead and just fall back and see what everybody does.
Like, hey, fuck it.
Like, this is crazy. I mean,
that's
like,
a lot.
You gotta have people. Maybe you don't. You know, maybe you have people if you die where they love and miss you. You know what I mean? Or do you just want to grind that into them and see how bad they love and miss you?
I'm ready to find out.
Maybe he wasn't feeling it, Fred.
I'm ready to find out right now. It's like, hey, you know what? Let's just see. Let's see if these motherfuckers love me.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't feeling the love.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe so. Damn, must have been a lot of fucking people.
It's a lot. Here's another one. 18, what year is that?
William Goodwin
Geddes.
And this is probably another fucking rich guy.
1877.
So 1877, William Goodwin Geddes is noteworthy for
babies. Don't tell me that.
The first person in Australia to fake his death for financial reasons.
Oh, here we go. Nice. We have a reason.
Let's see, and I wonder how many people know about this fucking story. Geddes, a surveyor, had a reputation for being an excellent swimmer and an all-around athlete. On November 3rd, 1877, Geddes mysteriously drowned in King John's Creek in Queensland.
But he could swim.
Mysteriously, right? The guy who's an athlete who can swim. His brother, who's been with him all the time, said he heard Geddes call for help and attempted to save him, but he dives, and his dives were fruitless. Okay, so he didn't find him. Geddes' body was never found, and although his friends weren't entirely convinced of his demise, 2 of his life insurance policies were paid out 4 months later. 2 of them? Damn. God damn. I know that stuff. Right tight. So, it says, in 1889, a man who looked virtually identical to Geddes.
How many years was that?
Hold on, wait.
77.
No, that was just a couple years later. So you probably say just chill. Wait, so let's see, 77 minus 89. So what's that? 11 years. He just so he did take 11 years. He did 10 years, right? He did 11 years. That's not. I'll knock that. I'll knock that. Right. So, they look virtually identical to Geddes. And then what by the name Louis Sidney Brennan? That's dope. Louis Sidney. I like that name. Was admitted to the Adelaide Asylum for the insane for having been committed after his wife of 7 years called the police on him. While Geddes' parents said Brennan was not their son, Geddes and a policeman did recognize each other. The insurance company filed a suit against Geddes' father for being complicit in the scam. Some have suggested that Geddes had a genuine case of amnesia after a horse riding accident. But wouldn't explain his parents' claim that they failed to recognize him. The Gunness, or Lady Blue Card, as she came to be known, believed to have murdered at least 14 people. She managed. Oh, this is another person.
That's somebody else.
There's a whole another person.
So,
she's a ruthless.
So he couldn't recognize his parents. He was crazy. He was admitted in here. 11 years later, yeah, I guess he did go crazy because he couldn't be himself.
Oh, yeah.
He dead. He claimed himself dead.
Trying to keep up
And
with people.
Now, what does he do?
He ain't do shit.
You had no
insurance money taking their fucking money back.
But he didn't get the insurance money. His beneficiary got the insurance money.
No, the beneficiary is the trust that he controlled. Of course, he had the money.
Oh, he controlled it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah. So what they do is they have the money dedicated to a trust that a person controls. So if you control the trust, if you hire the trustee that controls and makes decisions on where the money's going, the trustee,
Yeah, but you can't get the money
trustee
out as
can't.
yourself.
The trustee can't make decisions without you, and then you're oftentimes who hire and pay the trustee are in charge of the decision. The trustee just signs the dotted line and puts it and pushes it through. So that's how it works. That's why, especially if you do it like Wisconsin or Delaware. Ooh, good.
Yeah, I don't think he got no money. I think he went crazy because he couldn't live.
But they came in. They said they sued him. The insurance company sued him. So
Yeah, he sued him. That's why he had lost his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Whatever happened.
because he thought he had a
couldn't keep
foolproof
up the
plan.
charade.
He thought he had a foolproof plan. He was fucked up. He was into the cash. He fucked up his cash. And he was like, "Fuck."
It's drove him crazy.
And yeah, he moved too fast.
Anything that was in his life was gone now because he had to erase it because he's dead.
Yeah. So for 11 years he was with this chick,
Imagine.
and it drove him crazy because you know what I mean. He was trying to be two people and forgot who the fuck he was probably some damn time, and then he fucking the money. That's what really happened. He couldn't get the fucking money, and that drove him crazy. Yep.
That's probably it. All right, now we have moving out of those 1800s. They was crazy. The 1900s. In 1908, Belle Guinness. Let's see how crazy this story can get it be. So Belle Guinness, or Lady Bluebeard, and she came to be known, is believed to have murdered at least 14 people. She managed to evade prosecution, however, by staging her death, of course. So Guinness, she immigrated to America from Norway in the late 1880s. And by 1900, she had already been widowed after the death of her first husband. It is suspected, though, that her husband died of poisoning at her hand.
Well, I like how they put it. After the death of her husband.
2 years later, her second husband died. Oh my
What
God.
a coincidence.
From a crushed skull.
What the fuck? A coincidence.
Well, Guinness claimed that it was caused with a meat grinder that he accidentally fell from a high shelf.
Oh.
The meat grinder fell.
Okay. That's plausible.
Yeah.
We can work with that.
Fell into it, the meat grinder.
All
It accidentally fell.
right.
Guinness's two small children, her second husband's youngest daughter, and a foster daughter, also all died. God dog it.
Damn. What a fucking
Under mysterious circumstances while under her care.
She got bad luck. Maybe she's not a mass murderer, right? Maybe she just got bad luck. Maybe she's not into murdering people that are close to her, right? Her close friends and shit. Like,
Well, even through her grief, she was always sure to collect that life insurance policy for her family members soon after their deaths.
oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha. She controlled the trust. All right, nice.
So, with greed being her apparent motive, Guinness kept on killing.
Mhm.
She killed 14 damn people.
So let's see.
She took out personal ads in the paper featuring text like this. Check this out, check this out, check this out, check this out. Commonly widow who owns a large farm in one of the finest districts in LaPorte County, Indiana, desires to make acquaintance of a gentleman equally well provided with viewing of joining fortunes. No replies by letter considered unless sender is willing to follow answer with personal visit. Triflers need not apply. This biatch, she was insane. Really, she was out to get whatever she could get, looking for rich men so that she could kill. So let me see. Her no nonsense attitude garnered the attention she was looking for. The suitors appeared with money in hand only to be unceremoniously killed upon their arrival. They came with money. She was just killing them. Bang, give me your money.
Okay, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who is this lady?
So how long did she get away with this? Did you notice anybody missing?
Guinness was operating without suspicion until Andrew Helgelian answered her ad and disappeared shortly after. His brother Azel grew worried, but Guinness answered his concerned letters by saying his brother had gone to Norway.
Okay.
Before Azel could get in touch with the local police in the early morning of April 28, 1908, Guinness's Indiana farmhouse erupted in flames. Under a burnt piano were the bodies of 3 children and a headless woman, everyone assumed to be Guinness. Police believed the fire to be set by Ray Lanphier, a hired hand and Guinness's suspected lover. He was arrested and charged with arson when Azel Helligan showed up with his theory that Guinness had murdered his brother and set the house on fire to hide her crime.
But did she got away with it? She got away.
The authorities investigated and soon found remains all over the farm, including those of Andrew Helgeland. Amid the remains found in the hog pens, police also discovered the bones of the foster child Guinness claimed that had gone away to California. 12 hours before the fire, Guinness had been to a lawyer to draft a will. As she said, she feared Lanphier would kill her and burn her house down. Lanphier, who was later convicted of arson, admitted on his deathbed in 1910 that he had set the fire and that Guinness had drugged and killed her children, but he insisted Guinness escaped unharmed. He claimed the headless body was that of a woman who had come to the farm to be a housekeeper, and Guinness had stolen millions from her murder victims. Because the corpse in the house didn't quite match Guinness's 280-pound frame and her bank account was suspiciously empty the day before the fire, while there was no definitive evidence that she faked her own death, imagine that. Many contemporaries believe that she did.
What you do?
And up until 1931, people claimed to see Guinness in and around the United States. Once even during an investigation for poisoning and death of an old man in 2008. A team of forensic analysis attempted to determine once and for all whether Guinness had fled the fire, but DNA tests on the remains were inconclusive, of course. Damn. She got away from murder. 2008, she's still alive.
She made 90.
She's still alive.
She made $100 million
off of Craigslist ads and shit asking guys to come over. Y'all better watch what y'all
Yeah.
do on social media.
Should
We're
be
gonna
really
talk to
awful.
y'all about that because that's our topic today. Okay, the effects that social media can have on your mental health.
Yes.
Yes, that is going to be our topic today, guys. So it's how does social media affect your mental health? Social media is a bitch. Not only can you be catfished,
Mm-hmm.
you can also be zombie. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's crazy. We're gonna do this last one,
People be
and
getting
then
deep on this.
and then we're gonna go on break for a second. We're gonna give y'all a video and we'll be right back. We're gonna do this one.
This guy is Marion Franklin Rogers, 1929. One of my numbers. It's not every day you get to testify in a trial for your own murder. God damn.
Oh,
In 1926, Marion Franklin Rogers escaped from the state hospital for nervous diseases in Arkansas after being admitted 3 months prior. He was married with 3 children, but after his escape, he abandoned them and started a new life as a drifter. He claimed to be a 22-year-old man named Connie Franklin. He found work cutting timber and doing manual labor on a farm. As Franklin, he began courting a 16-year-old named Tyler
wow.
or Tiller,
16.
depending on the newspaper. Ruminer is the name of the newspaper. In March 1929, he disappeared. Later that spring, Ruminer told authorities that her fiance had been murdered in March of that year, and she had stayed silent because his murderers threatened to kill her if she told anyone. According to Ruminer, on the night that she and Franklin were to be married, they were ambushed by a group of attackers who beat him until he was unable to be moved, and then they mutilated him and burned him while he was still alive. Throwing his remains on the screen. Well, that's what they're saying. 2 of the men sexually assaulted Ruminer before threatening her to assure her silence. The 4 men were charged with Franklin's torture and murder, but in December 1929, the trial came unraveled when Rogers appeared, claiming to be the murdered man. The trial was already unusual to watchers, and the prosecutor and defense attorney were brothers. Rogers testified that on the night in question, he got drunk with the defendants, was slightly injured at a fall from his mule, and vanished voluntarily because Ruminer wanted to postpone the wedding ceremony. His identity proved difficult to confirm, as some swore him to be their friend and neighbor, while others refused to believe he truly was Franklin. While handwriting comparisons seemed to support Rogers' claim, tests of a pile of charred bones from the woods were inconclusive. Ruminer did not acknowledge him as her former beau, even though he recognized her father by the name and serenaded her with her favorite song, both a cappella and on a harp. So he played it and he played it on the song on an instrument. Ultimately, the men of the trial went free. Rogers died of exposure in December 1932. Whether the real Franklin was murdered or Rogers merely faked his disappearance as yet to be positively established. So he probably they said he faked his death twice. That's what he's trying to say. He faked his death one time, came in the court, said, no, I ain't dead. Those guys ain't beat my ass and fucking throw me in the river or burn me, fucking throw me in the river. I was drunk. I fucking fell. This is all, I was fucked up for a while. And here I am. Everything's all good. Then he said he did it again. Some fuck shit. So this is some real common shit. It's some shit you ain't learn in school, some shit you ain't learn in your family. So obviously this is some shit that's going on in high society and it's common.
We have 8.
So
I think we have a caller on the call line. Let's see if we do. Well, no, that was a text. We were to get anyway.
We all that.
But y'all that call in. The number is here. The number is through what is it? 609-315-4442. You can call in. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back with some more of these topics. Hold on, please. Come on. Comfort Level Podcast, Jenny Schmanny, you're live.
Hey, what's going on? Jenny Schmanny. Varsity Productions. You know, I'm in the building. What's going on with you guys on the show?
What's going on now? We just,
bro. What's good with you?
You know, it's 2 Cent Tuesday.
Not too much, man.
In 2 Cent Tuesday. We're on the topic. Well, we didn't start our topic yet, but we were talking about different people that faked their death. Are you dead? You definitely not dead. I'm just kidding.
I'm very much alive. Now, that's an interesting subject. The funny thing, I just came on and caught a little bit with what your name was reading about the dude. Like, there was like some real mentally psychotic crap going on. I just watched a movie that kind of was like that last night. Like, that mental health was crazy. But, so what we got going on today?
We got a name for it. Got a pretty name for it. We just call it mental health.
Yes, mental health, social media. Do you think well, they didn't have social media back there because that was in the 18 and the early 1900s and stuff. And so
newspapers and bicycles.
Newspapers and bicycles. Why do you think it was so many people faking their deaths? Was it greed or what?
To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly can't tell you why somebody would want to fake their death. Unless they hire from somebody in life, that's a lifetime of hiding to fake your death. So I mean, you can come out of hiding. Like what is the Machiavelli situation? It's a little code where you can come out of faking your death after a certain amount of years, right?
Yeah, because there's no federal statutes or any laws that prevent you. It's not a crime.
Statute of limitations on it, so most states after a certain time you can come back.
That's crazy. Like you said, the only reason that I would say I would think somebody would figure that is if they run up from somebody, and like I said, that's really it. Like I don't know why somebody would want to figure death. Like people love you. Somebody love you. You don't got to figure death.
Do you?
So that's something that somebody's running from.
Yeah, somebody loves you. Somebody miss you. We got a lot of missing people now that it's hard to even find, dead or alive. You know what I mean? You can't find them. But let me ask you this: what do you think that now in the year 2023, how easy would it be for somebody to fake their death? You think it would be easy?
No, I'm gonna tell you. Well, unless they can prove that they did, it is a good fake. There's too much technology and forensics nowadays. It's like it's a paper trail. It's a trail. Everything leaves a trail.
I know you're trapped.
I mean,
listen.
But they say homeless people, not to be like ignorant, but they say homeless people kind of like the easiest people to go missing. Like certain types, like they say ladies who work at the nighttime, like night workers, little pros, they go missing easily. And it's like nobody knows where they vanished to. And it's almost like, are they dead?
Because nobody's really missing them.
No, check this out.
Right.
Nobody's really missing them.
Check this out. You know the only identifier that's used when a person is dead and burned alive?
The dental records.
The dental records.
They didn't mention anything about that though, so
they
weren't using that technology.
Think about the times where they couldn't recognize that, and think about now where all you have to do is just basically get a match of your dental
all day, every day.
Get a match of your teeth. Take the other person's teeth out. Put your teeth on them, and then when they're charred and burned alive, if it's done right, you know the print is going to come up. Oh, that's Fred. That's guys. It's the same teeth.
It's not that.
It could be done.
nowadays.
It could be done.
I don't think so.
Everybody saw Life. I saw
But
Life.
So-
the whole question was why y'all asked why would somebody think that? You can't answer that. The only answer for
Yeah, you
that
can.
is they're running from something.
Oh, I can
Like,
answer
Yeah,
that
you
question.
can.
I never thought about running from somebody. I never
You
thought about
can't
that one
answer the
fucking time.
question
But I would only do that.
from my
As a matter of fact, the only way possible that I would see doing that, something I always think
For
about
money.
is right for the cash,
like,
for the insurance policy. You fucking set up the insurance policy with the big ass death benefit because your cash out is in the death benefit. Death benefit be like $3, $4, $5, $7, $8 million. So, you know, that's why if I'm a rich guy and I had 2.3 million, I lost it all and I'm under pressure, I want to lose my house, I want to lose my fucking cars. I might just fucking set up my shit.
That's a good explanation.
I might set up my shit in a way where I gotta trust my shit.
yeah,
my
but if
shit
you
gets-
have to go into hiding, it's not doing you no good because you don't have those things anyway.
it's America, you can
That's what
hide
you gotta get out of the
anywhere.
You can hide somewhere else and get more shit.
You can hide anywhere in America.
Well, not to change the subject, but since he called in before we got to our topic, because you know we were enjoying putting our 2 cents in on these stories.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna ask you the ultimate question: do you think that social media has an effect on mental health? Sometimes people can handle it, some people can't.
I say it does.
It
And I'm
does.
going to give you a fast track answer. The other day I was watching the news, and it was a report. Dr. Mike, the first thing you do in the morning is most people do what? Pick up their phones and look at emails, text messages, and social media comments or notifications. Number one thing is the minute you wake up and you look at a social media post of somebody that just bought a car, the first thing in the morning, that's not what I want to see because it's going to put me in the mood like, dang, I need to get a car, so I got to grind.
The
It's
Joneses.
crazy because every day following that, I'm going to see that person with a house, a car, jewelry, too. And after a while, it's going to be me trying to model myself after that person. But mentally, it's deteriorating me because that's not the caliber of life that I live. So
But is it wrong
it'll
to
drive-
not see someone else's happiness?
It depends on how you look at it. For me, when I see that, it inspires me. It makes me hungry. It makes me realize where I'm going. That's the life I'm gonna live one day. So it makes me like, I like seeing it. I be like, okay, yep, my life's gonna be just like that very soon. That's what I see when I don't be
But
like,
sometimes it depresses people. And
It depresses people, yeah, because of what they know they can't get, but they want to have it so bad that it's like it gets you in a state of I'm not even good enough to obtain this stuff that they have. It makes just a mental drain. And the constantly thinking of what you need to be doing, what do I gotta do? And it's a draining thing. Social media is draining. It's draining.
yeah, I'm not. That's weak-minded people. That's why they suffer from mental health. You know, they can't process or stay out their heads essentially.
well, it doesn't necessarily mean that it messes you up to the ultimate. You know what I mean? He's just talking about feeling in a sense. It's a
death.
Well, here's
Mom could have
here's
just
the
died.
thing.
You could have just had a death of a mom or a grandma. See somebody hooked up with their grandma and their mom on Mother's Day. That's a mental. That's going to tear you down. That's exactly what social
That's
media
traumatic. Yeah,
That's
that's traumatic. So it is. Here's the thing about social media: it's a part of our lives now, right? And other people's lives can be reported on social media. So it's just like we get constant news of each other's lives. For me, in the morning, if I do go on Facebook or I'm looking at a post, it's something inspiring me to keep going. It's some business shit I'm into, I'm into.
Well, you can get a lot of
saving
information
masculinity.
on there.
Yeah, so I'm into that. So I get that in the morning. I'm working out. In the shower, I'm out the door about 6. So it's like,
See, now you have to weigh your pros and cons because if you're using social media for information and stuff like that, you know what I mean? What's to say? Look, this whole podcast is on social media.
yeah,
Social media can also have a negative impact on the way you think.
yeah.
Social media
It can.
controls the way, because generation thinks instead of having a brain and a mind of their own to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to copy. I'm going to be my own. You know what I mean? I'm going to be my own type of unique.
Right.
But instead, you wake up every morning, like I said, and you see certain things and you try to obtain to be. And it's hard because it's not the caliber of life. Literally, it's a mental thing. It's like I always want. Instead of being happy with what you were, I can make people go into
discipline.
Make people go into, you know what I mean? It's all
Yes.
constant. Social media is crazy. It guides people's thoughts. You can't think. That's a bad thing to not be able to think and function without social media.
Well, discipline. If it's affecting you in the morning, you wake up and you see somebody else's happiness that ruins yours or make you feel some type of way, then you have to meter. No. You have to meter and monitor the times that you are going on Facebook. I ain't gonna let it fuck up my whole day by going on Facebook and seeing some shit that's gonna ruin my whole day. If I'm gonna let that happen, you know what I mean? Then I'm not gonna go on Facebook until the afternoon.
Yeah, well, see, I'm just not.
I'm going on Facebook.
What I suggest everybody do: don't put stock into
because it's an addiction.
Don't put stock into false visualization. How can I say this? Don't put stock into false visualization. The fuck we see on Facebook is not big fucking deal. A lot of these people are just showing what they did for the fucking moment. Nobody's live.
Well, there's some things that's not on Facebook that's a big deal that should be on Facebook.
It should, but you know, everything you got censorship. You know, you got censorship.
Yeah, what happens to that?
You know, because
what about that? What about the stuff that should be on Facebook that's not put on Facebook?
Because most people's social media
Mark Zuckerberg
got a bunch of twerking, gold diggers, chain wearing,
and clowns.
It ain't teaching nothing.
They ain't teaching us nothing.
Is a fuckboy and bad bitch community. You know what I mean? So
that's
what social media is. Like, if you want to attain to be something in life, you don't watch social media, man. Go read a book.
Okay, we got another call coming in. They're gonna have to be on hold.
Another call coming is getting busy if we lose it.
If you're calling, please call back.
The calls come through.
More calls coming.
All right, Var, Tennessee, we thank you for calling in.
Var Brody, good calling, bro.
Sure, man.
Some real interesting points, bro. We gotta get back at this again.
All right, call back. The number is 609-315-4442. Caller, if you're calling, call back. Pleasure. That's the Var, Tennessee. We're gonna come back in a second. We're gonna share this. Where's this thing at? This video with you guys. Hold on tight.
Missed a couple calls, y'all, but we still on.
Nah, we're gonna share a video.
We gonna do this thing in the back real fast. We about to close. Yeah. No, nigga, no.
Is that son of God?
Bro,
I think so.
Out of town where the money at. Coke so good, I don't want to rap. 12-12s, we was stuffing that. I got my doing jumping jacks. I only hit it. She got Section 8. I turned the crib to another trap. Money walk, I do the money walk. Fuck the combo, nigga, money talk. Grimy, Future. Shorty gon' do what I told her. I got a bitch in the New Year. She got a brick in the sofa. I got a stick in his poking. Love the money, this shit get me excited. Don't be talking street shit on my phone, nigga. All of that chat ain't gon' get us indicted. I ain't even want the pistol he was selling, but I was beefing, so I had to buy a room full of all day one members. You walk in the room and we all gon' get quiet. We don't trust no outsiders. Watch where you step. I paid top dollar, about to burn shit down like a house fire. Had to cut him off, the niggas not slide. I'm out of town where the money at. Ain't got no time where the money at. I'm tryna find where the money at. I always find where the money at. I never hate on a nigga, no. I never wait on a nigga, no. I stay away from them niggas frauds. You ever play with my paper, it's on. I'm out of town where the money at. Ain't got no time where the money at. I'm tryna find where the money at. I always find where the money at. I never hate on a nigga, no. I never wait on a nigga, no. I stay away from them niggas frauds. You ever play with my papers?
Spit it so smooth and I'm smoother than ball face. Fuck how you coming, I'm coming in always. Bitches, they running the class and they want me to teach them. I tell them don't flip in the hallway. I can pop bottles whenever I want to. Catch me a burp, I might do it with a root beer. This ain't a new me, but I got a new pin. Poison been turned from the start of the new year. I'm on a big dreams, race car, new gear. Told them I'm coming, it went out the other year. Soldiers, they coming behind me like cavalier. Niggas be hoes and they still wanna pack us. The power is coming, they thought it was easy. I put in work for days, talking about years if they know what it is. I had to come and rephrase. The music be booming, try drum like a bass. Highland Free Brunson, he caught him a case. Violence, no, I ain't trying to embrace, but you get in the way and you getting erased. Nigga, I'm sharper than pencil tips. You get to notice, pink slip. I'ma blow like a rocket, deposit on Simon. 2 pockets is full of them blue chips. They be hating on with no loose lips. Step out fresh and you know I got hard drip. Smoking dope and I'm loaded off 2 tips. Do me a movie and make it a new clip. I came to Austin, tore up a stage. Nobody I'm under, I came out the cage. Know I'm a dog and they want me to fall, but bitch, I get paid. I'm talking about paid.
I'm out of town where the money at. Ain't got no time where the money at. I'm trying to find where the money at. I always find where the money at. I never hate on a nigga, no. I never wait on a nigga, no. I stay away from them niggas frauds. You ever play with my papers on? I'm out of town where the money at. Ain't got no time where the money at. I'm trying to find where the money at. I always find where the money at. I never hate on a nigga, no. I never wait on a nigga, no. I stay away from them niggas frauds. You ever play with my papers on?
Y'all ain't hear a damn word I said
shit.
over here. Instagram heard it, but they didn't hear nothing because the mic was muted. I said where the money at, Santos featuring Poison Ivy. That's what I said.
Toast and Poison.
Yeah, that was hot. That's a new video out. We've been showing it. We've been pushing it. Make sure y'all go run it up. Run them numbers up. Let me get this other one we got here. So, everybody talking about money, 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 money. Let me see if I can get this one. About this money, okay?
Oh.
Y'all ain't supposed to be looking at where I'm pulling up. Y'all ain't supposed to be looking at what I'm pulling up, but since y'all lied, let me see where it's at. If it comes up, it should be there. No, it's not on here. Let me see. I gotta put this on here. At least. Here it is.
The conversations went from everywhere, right? There's just the open.
But we didn't show this one. This is it's about a little bit of hip hop news. Hold on, give me a second. I get it together. All right, here we go.
The conversations went from everywhere, right? There's just open dialogue and real.
The $300 million acquisition of Tidal by Jay-Z was successful in a lawsuit brought by a group of police officers who opposed the transaction. A Delaware judge reportedly dismissed a class action lawsuit brought by the City Springs police officers' pension plan against Jack Dorsey and other board members of Block Incorporated. The purchase of HOV's streaming service by Block Incorporated, previously known as Square Incorporated, in March 2021 seemed, by all accounts, a terrible business decision. According to the pension fund, a stakeholder of Block Incorporated, they complained about Tidal's declining revenue, the loss of important contracts, and their claimed involvement in a criminal investigation in Norway over the company's streaming figures. The business allegedly also took a $50 payment. Jay-Z provided $1 million loan to shore up its finances. HOV was not named as a defendant in the action, but his name did come up regularly as a result of his participation in the sale of Tidal to Block Incorporated, whose board he joined as part of the agreement. the 53-year-old paid $306 million for his 87.5% part in Dorsey's business, but after modifications, the price dropped to $237.3 million for an 86.2% ownership, according to the lawsuit. The billionaire from Brooklyn personally received proceeds in excess of $63 million from the purchase, despite winning the case against Tidal. Roc Nation has lately been accused of stealing hit singles for A$AP Ferg and Glorilla. This suggests that Jay-Z's legal problems may yet persist. According to All Hip Hop, Jigga's company has been accused of exploiting his copyrighted beats without authorization by Houston-based music producer Carrie D. Brown, who also serves as managing member of Crushal Kea Productions. The songs in question include Glorilla's smash hit FNF, Let's Go, from 2022 and A$AP Ferg's Plain Jane, which was released in 2017. Lenny Santiago, also known as Lenny S., is Roc Nation's vice president, and according to Brown's lawsuit, they first connected during the 2015 Dealmakers Conference held at the Hotel Derrick in Houston, Texas. He reportedly sent Santiago with samples of his instrumental in an effort to forge a future partnership, but he never handed Santiago the rights to his music at that time. Brown claims that after that, he discovered that Plain Jane and FNF, Let's Go, had been performed. Using his two instrumentals, You Don't Know Nothing About Me and Audiobox instrumentals, without his knowledge, the lawsuit names Roc Nation, Lenny Santiago, Sony Music Entertainment Digital LLC, and Black Noise Recordings LLC.
Private muscle.
What was you and Pac's relationship prior to his passing? Man.
So he got his 300 mil.
And if part of that money came from a cop's pension fund, then that's fucking crazy. God damn. That means he about to own it. He owns a police department now. Seriously, he owns the police department. He owns the pension fund now. That shit was worth $300 million.
Jay-Z is a mogul. Let me tell you something. They ain't catching him sleeping.
So he owns that town. That means anything happens in that town, Jay-Z knows about it. That department is dependent on Jay-Z.
Yeah, they're dependent.
But he ain't gonna take all their money. He's not gonna take that pension fund. He just got them by the balls now. He's the controller of their pension fund, so he pretty much owns the department. The chief, the lieutenants, they all gotta answer to the man that's gotta sign their checks.
All of them.
Every last one.
Yeah. All right, guys. So our topic today is how does social media affect your mental health?
Yeah.
This is going to be a little lengthy. Guys, bear with us. And we're going to try to talk about a few of these things. Hop in our comments. Hop in our chat line. All right? So as social media continues to grow in popularity, the consequences of heavy online use have become increasingly clear. Heavy, okay? While social media can have many positive effects, researchers are aware its potential negative effects can have long-term impacts on teens as well as adults' mental health and overall well-being, especially their self-esteem. Okay, now this chapter actually talks and refers to teens, but I'm just gonna switch it to everybody because I think it pertains to everybody and using discipline on social media. Everybody. That's right. So according to the studies, social media use appears to cause a decrease in self-esteem. And they're saying, with the group most affected being girls between the ages of 10 and 14. That's when it starts. Okay, and it ranges all the way up to death. That's the way we're going to put it because social media is here to stay. So it ranges all the way up to death. So for instance, Facebook has been pinpointed as a social networking site that attracts adolescents and people with lower self-esteem. Yet it worsens the problem as we engage in higher levels of social comparison. Just like LeVar said on the phone, when he wakes up in the morning and he sees somebody and they says, "Oh, I just got the new Jag," or whatever, and that's the car that he wanted, and he sees it and he wakes up and he feels like shit because he hasn't achieved it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like keeping up with the Joneses type thing. So that can create even a lower skewed self-image of yourself. So every year, social media changes the way people interact. We get new apps and new different things, and we're all talking on these different platforms. You know, even with podcasts, every year things change. It went from radio to Facebook, to what's that thing? MySpace.
MySpace, yeah. MySpace was one of the original.
Yeah.
I don't know why they got rid of MySpace. MySpace was cool.
Because of Facebook. It was larger and more widely used.
Yeah.
So if you use it carefully, social networking sites can connect people to otherwise inaccessible opportunities, information, services, and communities.
And products.
Yeah. That's right.
And bought some real cheap, nice. As a matter of fact, Facebook took the place of what Craigslist used to be. Facebook got their marketplace, boy.
If you're a parent, it's important to acknowledge that social media will be a part of your kids' daily life. Okay. However, you must also be aware that when it has an adverse influence on their life, on their self-esteem, or their mental health.
Or you could just take it all away. I didn't do it, and then when we did start the iPhone thing, there was MySpace. I was 2 on MySpace, and then Facebook happened, and then we were both on Facebook. But you always engineer your kids to let them know how unimportant social media is, and make sure they have a lot going on in the real world, so that social media ain't all in their fucking heads, and they're inside their heads with social media, obsessed with social media and what's going on in social media, because it's all fucking smoke and mirrors, all of it. Delusion, fucking fantasy land.
Well, with these children, their children are already more susceptible to self-esteem issues. Like in school, they're less aware of who they are anyway.
Well, they were born in the social media era, so they live off of it.
Who they're becoming, and they're extremely sensitive to comparisons with others. You understand? So their appearance, their clothes, their grades, their clubs, and all their other interests are.
They was raised in the era, so they go crazy. I could probably match it for us.
Those are the self-esteem issues that they already have. They're bombarded with different messages on TVs and magazines, if they even read any magazines anymore, and the internet about who they should be and the things that they should like. You know what I mean? If they want to be considered cool.
Yeah. So again, something we probably
even normal, popular.
But probably seem weird to us, because those kids are the social media generation. So they had to grow all the way up in this whole social media standard of appearing.
But
like
it's worse online.
Good, right?
It's worse online. It's worse online is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, so
it's worse online. It's difficult to get away from social media, you know what I mean? Because social media is more addictive than alcohol.
Damn. Shit.
More cigarettes.
Yeah.
Because the internet is free. and it's easy to access. It's available to you 24/7. You can't get alcohol 24/7 if you run out the house. The liquor store is closed.
You know, you busy as hell. You're gonna visit social media at least 3 to 5
and it
times
seems
a
like
day.
it's harmless.
Yeah, I visit social media 3 to 5 times a day, and it's usually because and a person's feed. My feed. If I'm wasting time on Facebook, I'm definitely learning something. I'm not. It ain't no ass, no
But that
titties,
could be
and all
a
that
problem.
fucking shit.
But that could be a problem. You could be addicted to learning something.
Yeah.
Because numerous studies indicate that social media use is linked to increased risk of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and low self-esteem.
Goodness gracious, well, good thing I don't
Yeah.
suffer from that. Jesus Christ.
Many people do, especially celebrities and influencers such as myself. We use our social media profiles to project a perfect image, with photos that we choose carefully, videos that we choose carefully. We use different filters. People are image editing software they're using, everything just to spruce it up. You see my hair? Look at this. You know what I mean? I'm here on this, just like this. No makeup, these teeth that I got. You know what I mean?
It's the picture pages.
But people do use that. And as a result, the people who follow these profiles, they feel like their own life is lacking, or they could feel worse about themselves because you look so beautiful. You know what I mean? Or you've seen somebody else look so beautiful. Why not me?
Well, I mean, it's not a thing to take a picture or to appear at your worst. So at least if you're on Facebook, be somewhat presentable. You can be, I wouldn't say overdo it. I think some people but I do think some people overdo it when they go. They be all glam. You see the line where they got the makeup up here and the skin be 2 colors.
Talk about that.
Yeah, it'd be like too much.
People,
so just be regular on social media is cool.
You can be regular.
Be regular.
For many people, comparing themselves to others becomes unavoidable. It's it's compulsive.
It's just jealousy and envy.
It makes them feel inferior, and negatively, it impacts their self-esteem.
Or they have a lack of drive and ambition and direction. So that's what happens. When you have a lack of drive, ambition, and direction, the only thing you can do is be jealous and envious of somebody else's shit.
The studies show with social media, the opportunity for comparison is virtually infinite. That means doesn't mean that you're going to be affected negatively from it, but you are going to compare yourself to some of this shit. Yes, you are.
So for me, what it does for me, it makes me, I like to see it, and I'll be proud to see guys that's able to do that. That I know, especially I know for me,
he got all his shit together though, but social media adds stress sometimes to people's daily life.
Yeah, so here's the thing about depression.
They're evaluating their own.
Think about this. So here's the thing: people put stock in what they see, and they trust me. These people have problems. If y'all don't be seeing on Facebook, you see people.
But we're trying to help.
Yeah, those people. Yeah, so always know when y'all see that, if it bothers you, trust me, it shouldn't bother you too much, because those people that you might see looking at that Lambo, or that nice ass crib, or that motherfucking Bentayga, they got some motherfucking problems you don't want. So trust me.
It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. Fred does not understand what we're trying to get across. What I'm trying to say is, when you post your Lambo and you don't get all the likes, and people don't like that your Lambo and stuff, that post that you put up, I just got this Lambo, and you only got one person that liked it, how you gonna feel? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's dummy. That's nutty though.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's nutty.
So yeah, each time you post a picture or a status update, you can worry about the number of likes or the shares or the comments that the post generates.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
It's an obsession. It's another opportunity for comparison and potential embarrassment about how others view them.
Yeah.
Especially if another person's got more attention and positive feedback. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Other people view the things that people post on Facebook or other social media platforms, and also the things that they do not. You understand? So it is possible to correct bad social media interactions. So, but first you have to realize that if it's a problem or not. You know what I mean? Such as if you have a child, you know, and he gives off the appearance of confidence, or you see that they have low self-esteem, or maybe yourself, you know what I mean? You're talking about, I'm sweating, talking about Facebook all the time or whatever, you know what I mean? Or you're judging yourself or something like that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, people suffer, and it's brought on by
living up to false expectations and
excessive
standards
use of
set by
social media.
living up to false imagery and expectations set by Facebook media and perceptive standards. It's crazy because people see this and it just, I don't know. I guess if you're strong-minded, you don't put a lot of stock in what you see. Always know that what you got going on is just as good as anything you might see on social media. Trust me.
Here are some warning signs of low self-esteem, self-depreciation, even when joking. Self-depreciation, even when joking. Ignoring or discounting your own achievements. Blaming oneself when things go wrong.
If you can, that can be used. That can be used as a good thing because it keeps you accountable.
True. You know, you accept real responsibility. Yeah,
you got to. For men, maybe not women, but for men, it makes you're a real man. You're a leader if you can do that.
If you fail to accept compliments from others.
Oh goodness gracious!
Low
oh my goodness!
And having the feelings of anxiety, depression, shame, anger, or sadness.
Yeah.
And most of all, that crippling fear of failure.
Yeah.
That's low self-esteem. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you one thing: you can't fail nothing if you don't try it. So.
Right. So if you gotta feel
everybody's not good at everything.
The fear of failure will keep you the fuck poor. You gotta take risks. You gotta jump. Just jump sometimes. If it's
for the kids and the teenagers or whatnot, their grades in school are gradually declining. They're having mood swings. They refuse to help around the house or do their chores or, you know, anything. And they give up on whatever they try to do a task at the first sign of frustration. As soon as they get frustrated, it's fuck it. Nah.
Yeah.
Those are signs of low self-esteem. And first thing we checking now when the esteem seems low,
low contact when daddy's gonna put his foot up your ass.
Media.
And low contact of daddy.
Social media.
And low contact of daddy sticking a foot up your ass. Shit.
If you notice indications of low self-esteem or social media addiction in anybody, it may be time to gently correct the way that they use or view social media seriously. Low self-esteem can have lifelong consequences. Lifelong. Gotta reserve. You know what I mean? You gotta use it reservedly.
Self-esteem in women usually comes from dad. Self-esteem from boys usually comes from mom. But with school, if
But
your
we're
kid,
talking about the effects of social media, not where they usually come from.
okay, so if you let me
These are
finish, I'm
people-
going somewhere with it. Let me finish some
Okay.
time, right?
Okay.
So if
You
I'm
can
in
go too
school,
far.
if I'm in school and I can't focus, why the fuck do I have a phone any fucking way? Why the fuck am I even
See?
on social media if I can't focus in my real
This
life?
is what we're talking about. You have to recognize it so that you could take the phone away.
How about
It's not why the
how
fuck.
about no
Why,
no
why,
no? It's
why?
not about how the fuck, because you can't start it and then take it away. You just don't start it. You never start the problem. You can't roll a snowball down the hill and expect it not to turn
It's
into an
here.
avalanche.
We have it,
You
and
know
the
what I'm
kids are
saying?
using it
Yeah, but
24/7.
they gotta have restrictions.
It's accessible 24/7. We already went over that.
You gotta have terms,
So,
conditions, and restrictions.
We understand that, but this is not what's happening.
Yeah, well,
We're
that's
talking about the ones that are using it.
Well, then it's not their responsibility. It's not their fault. The fault is their parents, and their parents are fucking idiots. That's what's going on. Because you know what? Nobody.
His kids are
the parents
raised different.
No. Here's the thing.
Nowadays,
No.
the kids are given
Here's the
a
thing.
phone when they reach a certain age.
Yeah, but the parents can't pay for the goddamn therapist to fucking shrink their kids, because they can't do it. They busy trying to work and give their kids some
But
type
you can't
of
raise
living.
parents.
You can't also work,
You
make a
cannot
living, to
raise
also
parents.
condition your kids. Yeah, you can't re-raise your parents either. So it's
This
like,
is what you do if and when your children, not according to Fred going legit, has a goddamn phone and a laptop and is on social media. You set limits for their online time as well as yours as a grown-ass adult. As a grown adult, you set limits on the online time. You set boundaries for appropriate times to check your social media accounts. Like we talked to LeVar. Maybe you don't want to check it before you go to bed because you may not go to sleep by something you said, or maybe you might not want to check it in the morning. Maybe you might want to check it in the middle of the day so that you can get over yourself. You want to have an honest conversation about how unrealistic social media posts can be. You know what I mean? So if your kid is feeling bad, oh, Jenny posted this thing about me, but Roderick said such and such that he didn't like my shoes. What's wrong with my shoes? That don't mean nothing. That's his taste. Everybody else likes it. You liked them. She liked it enough to post you. You understand what I'm saying?
First of all, it's a good teachable moment, because if your kid is that open to tell you that, that means that's your opportunity to go and be like, yo, that should be water in a duck's ass. That kid is not. Yo, you a dope kid. You the shit, man. You don't worry about that shit.
Right. You have to.
This is what you gotta instill. Men, women, we instill the confidence in our kids by giving them the perception they should have.
This is a good one for us, Fred. This one is for me. Limit your distractions by changing them damn ass notifications settings. Like, I'm about to strike off a whole bunch of it's a bunch of nonsense that always getting a notification about some nonsense. You know what I mean? On social media, it's popping up. And it ain't making no sense because it's not relevant to me. Something that I may have once looked at and supported somebody, but the notifications is outrageous. But you can fix the notifications so that it can limit the distractions. And you also want to set a good example for healthy social media use. You know, like people are in different groups and stuff like that. Well, maybe it's not healthy if you're in that group because all they talk about is such and such, right?
So here's the beckoning question. If they say 2 hours of TV was enough, how many hours of social media exposure should the average kid between the age of 7 and 14 have?
It depends on how it's affecting them. If it's not affecting them at all, then they can go for what they know. If it's affecting them, then you got to put something on. You got to do something.
You can't do both.
You want to encourage hobbies and activities that aren't online.
Yeah.
You want to make your child feel accomplished without being online.
It starts early.
gradually.
Yeah. Social media should be the downtime. They spend a little 10 to 15 minutes in between doing what they got to do.
You got to give a healthy mindset on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the social media companies and their platforms have not done enough to safeguard your child. Not even enough to safeguard us, because every day is something new popping up. So, and we use a lot of this, for our technology. We need it, for the work that we do. You know what I mean? New stuff is popping up. How many times have you got frustrated because you haven't? Well, you're not on it. You're not on a lot of social media. But how many times I got frustrated because I didn't know how to sign up for this or get on this, or I'm not on this with that, or whatever, or use this certain anything. It could be a plug and play, and I don't even know how to use it.
She on them. She on everything now. She on all them damn things now. I don't know what she talking about. It's me that's having that thing that I'm going to persevere and push through.
So they do have a social media victims law center.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. Okay. Well, if a child or a teen is falling victim to negative effects of social media use, you can reach out to them. Oh, sure. So they, they want to hold social media companies legally accountable for the harm that they inflict on vulnerable users.
They're about to be rich like a motherfucker.
I'm trying to give y'all a little tidbit of this and that, but it's
damn, that was genius to do that. Jesus. Ooh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, that is interesting as shit.
Yeah. So it's coming. You know what I mean? Anybody that's addicted to this social media, you might be able to cash in later on. Hopefully, I don't really, really, really want nobody to cash in on being addicted to social media.
Well, here's that, and I say cash in.
Because it's hard.
We'll say that's not say cash in, because the cash that they're making is the byproduct, the energy they're putting out to the universe. The exchange is the gratification in this world that turns into money. Money is the transmutation. It's the transcendental payout when you put in that energy to the universe. That's what your payout is. So what I'm saying is, it's not the cash, just the cash flow. It's the fact that they're filling a void of something that was needed. They needed that thing. As people need a support system. So this is dope, and that's why I'm like, yo, that was dope. And then I guess the benefit of that is, making that cash, and I hope they are getting that cash. So I'm proud of them. That was dope. That was a genius idea. I wish I thought about that.
Yeah. All right, so before we get out of here, we're going to give you this one because Fred is waiting on this one, okay?
What is it?
Fred is waiting on Cash App founder Bob Lee attended the underground sex and drug parties with the sister of his alleged killer. What do you know about him, Fred?
All I know is that all those guys in cahoots with money transaction, and they're the writers of the blockchain, which is the ledger that allows the transfer of cash and also the ability to track cash. But that fucking guy at Cash App didn't allow the users or the handlers or the people that use their system to be able to track the cash that they lost. So if that motherfucker, there's a lot of people that fake their deaths, but I'll say this. If that motherfucker's going, he probably fucking deserves it, because I lost $1,000 in that bitch and never got my fucking money back. So fuck you. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. I hope he's alive and well, maybe. But if he's fucking passed, he should have paid. Ain't nobody get their fucking money back. So you fucker. That's what the hell you get for not fucking giving people fucking money back. Maybe I'm wrong for saying that. I don't mean to say that, guys, but I wanted my fucking money back. I'm that fucking asshole with Cash App. So,
okay. Well, this story comes via the New York Post. Cash App founder Bob Lee allegedly frequent underground sex and drug parties for San Francisco's elite
Freak boy.
with the sister of his accused killer after an argument about her. Lee's death was initially believed to be a case of random violence in a city where crime is soaring, but his friends suggested it was instead a result of the Cash App founders' indulgent lifestyle among the upper echelon Bay Area society where cocaine and swingers were common.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely, yeah. But I mean,
By the Wall Street Journal.
hey, listen, it's definitely a shut and close case because it looks like it's routine. They say they were partying. What do you think is going to happen? That's how they try to make it seem. But what do you think is going to happen?
Lee was 43, a father of two, allegedly enjoyed the city's underground party scene, known in wealthy circles as the lifestyle.
Okay, seemingly innocent.
And as did Kazar Momeni, wife of a prominent plastic surgeon and sister of Nima Momeni. People familiar with the group said Lee and Kazar, she was 37, were sleeping together, and many feared he'd fallen into a dangerous lifestyle, surrounding himself with the wrong group of people. Lee was allegedly confronted by Nima about the hard partying and his sister's involvement in an argument erupted in the early hours of April 4th when Lee was stabbed multiple times, prosecutors said.
Shit.
Lee reportedly stumbled around begging for help before collapsing near the Bay Bridge, just 16 minutes from Kazar's apartment. According to a friend, Lee was passionate about his tech industry work developing the popular Venmo competitor following his career as a Google programmer. But in his spare time, Lee allegedly was involved in casual drug use and partying, taking ketamine and cocaine.
They
and
fucking love that
traveling.
ketamine, boy.
I don't even know what it is. And traveling to raves around the world. His friends told the news outlet. So they was just traveling and getting high, going to raves. Harper Reid, the CEO of General Kalalakic Corporation, oh Lord, claimed they both once opted to strip off their pants to attend one such party. Damn, they was gonna get naked, let us say. Devin Myers, another friend of Lee, said the parties appeared to help the tech programmer unwind and connect with other bigwigs.
Oh, okay.
Noting the lifestyle parties had strict rules to kick out anyone who was getting too drunk and handsy.
Okay, yeah. All right. So that's what happened. That's what people do with loose ends.
Aside from the casual drug use, Lee, who was separated from his wife, allegedly slept with multiple women at parties, including Kazar. And that's a picture of him in one of these underground party scenes.
Oh, yeah.
The picture, y'all can't see it, but if you're familiar with Graffiti Park up in Philly, down off of, what is it, Delaware Avenue or whatever it is, that's what it looks like. He's in Graffiti Park. If Lee was the light of the party, his friend Nima, 38, was the wet blanket.
Ooh.
Often brooding in the corner is what sources added. Both men were attending a house party on April 3rd when Nima confronted Lee, asking if he and his sister were doing drugs or anything inappropriate, the prosecutors alleged.
Oh, she ain't like what they was into.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So the autopsy report from the San Francisco Office of the Chief Medical Examiner revealed Lee had cocaine and ketamine in his system when he died.
Mercy.
Kazar texted Lee around the time of his slaying to check on him, according to court documents. Just wanted to make sure you're doing okay, because I know Nima came way down hard on you, she wrote. She was texting him.
Mm.
And thank you for being such a class man, handling it with class. Love you, selfish pricks. Love you, selfish pricks.
Wow.
Damn. Krista Lee, Lee's ex-wife, denied her former husband was a party boy and claimed she never heard the term the lifestyle before.
That's the part of him she ain't know about. That's the part of him she ain't know about.
Yeah. He was a dedicated father. He was more mature than that. That's what she told the news outlet.
Of course he was a dedicated father. I mean, he ain't fucking was a freak ball on the side when he went to the party and put the kids away.
Yeah. Nima was arrested on April 13th and charged with murder. If convicted, he faces 26 years to life in prison. His attorney, Paula Canny, said he intends to plead not guilty. He killed him.
Killed the shit out that nigga.
Yeah, well, I mean, he ain't just into drugs in his system. He was burnt up. I mean,
so you say you know what ketamine is? Ketamine is the cocaine. Ketamine is the cocaine. The same way Buddha is to real weed. That fake ass weed they be smoking that Buddha bud and shit. So K2? Ketamine, yeah, K2. So K2, so ketamine is the cocaine, but K2 is the weed. And a lot of the white boys, they that's the thing. And I you know, I've been in that. My white friends.
So are they cutting it with it?
I mean, no. Here's the thing: if you sniff ketamine and you're on probation, it's not going to come up as cocaine in your system. You can still get the same high. But you know, that's for those who like to indulge in cocaine and ketamine or whatever, sniffing shit, shitting up your nose. They into that shit. They're shooting. They're just fucking making a wide nostril, using two nostrils wide. I tell you like this.
He was getting it in, you know. Well, that's what happened. He got killed. It's time for us to be getting up out of here. Yeah. What we do.
I've been fucking up the game on a regular. She ain't fucking with you lames cause you regular. Ain't nothing gonna change but my level. Ain't nothing changed but my level. I've been fucking up the game on a regular. She ain't fucking with you lames cause you regular. I've been fucking up the game on a regular. Yeah, I've been posted on the counter. From Philly to New York to California. I got all these backwoods and smoke. Thought I had a blue flat away and roll. She ate the nigga for an hour.
We're gonna see y'all on Thursday. We coming back with Willie and Boda. We're gonna be broadcasting y'all. Right. Willie and Boda, he's gonna talk to us about what you call it, Boda. The products.
Natural product.
You don't know what a burger is. Really a burger.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, he uses these products. It's Vogue game product. So it's holistic and spiritual. Yeah, but also and he says that he's going to be providing the community with a better water system.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
That's something we need.
H2O.
Willie Boga. on the 18th at 5 o'clock. We'll see you guys later, right?
All right, 3 hours,
Right,
y'all.
we'll see you